Hi, I'm Lean.
Hi, I'm Lou. So today we are doing something which Army all knows this video really well, but we're going to look at the guide to the Bangtan to the BTS members, the Bangtan Seven, by Taylor Mari. And she's amazing. She does the most amazing documentaries. And before we start, I just wanted to say thank you, Taylor. We love you. And she's just the most amazing army and human ever. So we are going to be reacting to her documentary. As I've mentioned to you guys before, Lean only knows maybe a handful of BTS songs. She knows mostly Sugar's older music, and maybe she knows the English BTS songs like Dynamite and Permission to Dance and stuff, and then maybe like Mic Drop and a few others. Is that correct?
The only old one I think I know two. I know Fake Love and is it Boy in Love
Okay, Boy in Love and Fake Love. Okay.
for some random
Oh,
reason.
there's like 350 plus songs from BTS. There must be close to 400 by now, I swear. But yeah, so you've got a long road ahead.
Lord help
So,
me.
so we're going to go through this documentary. Lean knows the members' names and faces and who they are and personalities because she's been spammed by me for like 2 years with me sending her stuff. But she doesn't, like, she knows some of their history and background, and she obviously knows that it's rags to riches story, but she doesn't know sometimes all of the details. And so this is a really great documentary just to make sure she's got all her bases covered before we start going into the different music and break down the different members, because we're going to obviously focus on a lot of their solo stuff, but we're also going to focus on like everything that they've done from like day one. So
You're
yay.
really dedicated to this, aren't you? Dedicated to making me
I'm
army.
always dedicated to converting people to army. Even though I wouldn't say I'm like hard on, like full on army, I'm like, I don't know, because like I just enjoy their lyrics and their music and listening to them.
Hearing you tell me on a daily basis that I am your Jin, I definitely have to watch this now.
Yeah, you are Jin. She's yeah. Lean is the embodiment of Jin in so many ways. It's just she's got everything. He's savagery, everything. So
I'm worldwide epic though. He's just worldwide handsome. I believe my epicness trumps handsomeness. Okay.
Okay, well, let's see, because, like, yeah, no, I think he's worldwide everything. So he's not biased, by the way. Him and RM, they're like on an even playing field. So RM was my ultimate bias. Well, is my ultimate bias. I shouldn't say was. He's like, and yeah, just because of his poetry and lyricism, and then Jin's voice got me. So the two of them, they compete constantly against each other. So okay, so let's begin with the guide to the BTS members. And yeah, raise your hand if you want me to pause.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's do this.
let's do it. Can I just say,
Yeah.
both you and I have obviously never, obviously never been to a BTS concert.
No.
I have not. But look at that. Like, look how many people, like, look at the freaking, with their little army bombs. Like, how amazing is that? Like, I
I
think
mean,
it's,
I've been to other concerts. Like, this is like, I've also been on the other side of that. I've been on a stage in a stadium.
you have as an idol. So
Mhm.
you have, but like, have you done it in front of like 100,000 people, 30,000 people?
Just a regular sized stadium.
But like, it must be amazing to be there. And I think like their concerts on another level compared
To
to,
be
because
honest, even when you're the one on the stage though, you don't really see most of the audience.
yeah,
You see the ones closest to you, but the rest is just like a sea of darkness. You don't really it doesn't feel like what is there in front of you. You don't really see it.
yeah,
You're aware of the closest people, but that's about it. And even then, apart from the really close people, you can't see their faces, especially if the lighting is all focused on the stage and the audience is in darkness. You'll maybe see lights from like phones or light sticks, so that but you really can't see their faces, and it feels like you're performing to not many people.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I think that must be amazing though. Like look at the sheer vastness of that. That's crazy.
It's giving me heart palpitations. I'm glad it's not me.
One day you and I need to do a concert for sure. So I do need Korea.
to see one. To see one.
See one.
Not
We'll
to get
get
on a
you
stage.
Jinshi to take us. So guys, we have a Korean producer that works. We do screenwriting and we do scripts and C dramas, K dramas, Asian dramas. So yeah, we have and documentaries. We've got a
Yuji no pa. Sang. Yuji no pa.
yeah, get us
Shine.
in. He actually has worked with BTS, but we're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. And he says they're amazing, by the way. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so do you want me to pause whenever there's writing at the bottom?
Yeah, maybe because well, I'm a fast reader, so
Okay.
that's fine. I'll wave if I need you to pause it, because
Okay.
then I'll be able to read them slower.
Okay.
I love you!
That is like, as of this, I think this documentary was made 2020.
22.
700
It said May
awards.
2022 at the start.
I think they've updated it. Yeah, they've won over 700 awards. Isn't that insane?
It's kind of impressive.
방탄소년단
2019 멜론 뮤직 어워드 올해의 아티스트 방탄소년단.
Oh, quite so good.
Peace, Jay.
Yeah.
June.
I share his birthday.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we're born the same day.
That's
Me
amazing.
and him are like the same.
김용기 하습니다
It's so,
Just applaud in there.
I'm so proud of him. They've done so much. I don't think they've expected to have such a lot on their shoulders, though. Being idols, and now they're like been to the White House and done all the stuff with the UN, and it's a lot of responsibility for them.
Don't lose that one, Harry.
Group name BTS, 7 members. Please come to our concert. You know K-pop?
잘한다 쟤.
No money.
No money?
Yeah.
Free?
Free. 마음을 놓치기 전에 Sing what you want.
이야. 진격의 방탄소년단 우리가 누구? Do you know K-pop?
언제가 이러면 잡히게 됐다.
So I think that was when they were in LA for that documentary that they were shooting, and they had to get people to come to a free concert. And it was like in 2014, I think.
Then you've sent me clips of those little bits before. Because I've definitely seen bits of like that trip.
That trip, yeah,
Yeah.
with the terrible prank that was done to them.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that prank. Whoever thought that one up.
The PTSD prank. It's terrible.
Yeah. It was not nice to watch.
Bang PD! PD
PD
Bang!
bang. PD bang. Bang shoot.
연습 시간을 강제하지도 않았고 생활을 통제하지도 않았어요. 모든 것에 자유를 주고 멤버들이 자발적으로 참여할 수 있게 했습니다.
I think that's kind of cool that like he allowed them such freedom, creative freedom compared to a lot of other K-pop groups. And I think that was the start of them taking a different path, you know. I think if they were like creatively oppressed and just had to sing and dance and do whatever they were told to do with songs written by other people, they wouldn't have experienced such growth.
When you allow a group their own choice of how many hours they're going to put into their craft too, if it's their own choice and they'll work for it and they want to work for it, they'll do as many hours as they can physically manage, as opposed to feeling like you are told to do this many hours a day in rehearsals.
Yeah.
They definitely worked for their own success.
Totally. And I think management makes such a big difference. I think, like you've mentioned before, that like your management was unfortunately like destroyed your band that you were in.
Mm-hmm. It
So-
definitely did. Bad management can just, like you see it even now in K-pop, so many bands debut and under bad management, they just crumble to dust and disappear just as fast.
Yeah,
It's kind of what happened to us. So
that's sad.
PD Bang seems like a good manager. Well, not manager anymore, is he? He's just like the big hype boss.
Yeah.
He seems like he was a good start for them. He is part of their success.
Exactly. They shared one bedroom. Isn't
Oh,
that-
they're like sharing food and that. Like, it's so cute because it brings back memories of like having to share everything beginning when there was no money. We didn't have to live together, but like sharing all the other stuff, sharing clothes, sharing everything else, sharing snacks in the rehearsal room. Like, that was all the same thing. So it's like cute to watch because like,
It reminds you of
yeah.
how many members were in your band?
There was 6 to begin with, and then we became a 5-piece, and then we eventually, at the end of our run, became a 4-piece. Members just kept dropping off. It was just too much pressure,
Too much pressure and bad management, as you said.
pretty much. Yeah.
(2013년 1월 12일) 진해 일지
2013년 2월 8일 지민의 일지
2013년 4월 10일 슈가의 로그
2014년
2017년
2020년 9월 27일
But I feel like the way they started, because they had no money for marketing and they did like YouTube lives, that is like what actually gave them their success. Like becoming personable to the people that started to like them, being able to like connect with them and showing their everyday lives as they went through it probably had a massive amount to do with how popular they are now.
Exactly. I think it also developed a parasocial relationship that's very unique, you know.
I always said, and if we had that band way back in the time where like the internet was a new thing, we didn't really have YouTube, we didn't have stuff like this. If we'd had all that at the time, I think it'd have gone a completely different way. If we'd have been doing lives and rehearsal videos and become much more like accessible to the people, because we had fans from the kickoff. So I think if we'd have had the same opportunities of putting everything of our journey online, it would have been a completely different different outcome.
Yeah, totally.
BTS definitely, they forged the way for that kind of marketing, and it was like so successful.
They were like, a lot of TV shows wouldn't entertain them or wouldn't take them on, so they were forced to like create their own connection with the fans in different ways.
They're a very strong inspiration story when you think of it. People that follow their dreams, they assume that if you're talented and you have everything laid out for you, it's just a case of climbing. But BTS, you got to see that they went through really hard, rough times. Sometimes it was failure, sometimes it was setbacks, like Hybe going bankrupt. Who'd have thought it now? Like,
Exactly.
I think they're a good inspiration story for anyone that wants to follow their own dreams, like where you start, the kind of crap you went through, and where you end up.
Yeah.
Perseverance is key.
And I think like the just grueling hard work, it's just like,
Oh yeah, you've got to be dedicated to your craft. You've got to put in the work. If you're not willing to sacrifice and put in the work for your dream, then you don't deserve to get it. It
No.
shouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be a dream otherwise. So they had to put in that work. They had to put in the hours. They had to put in the sweat. And look how it's paid off.
exactly.
벨기에 수도는 하나 둘 셋.
It's so you.
남준.
$1.3 million paid online viewers for their online concert during COVID. Isn't that insane?
That is insane. It's like part of their success though is that they made the effort even during COVID to keep up with their fans. So many Western bands, you heard nothing during COVID. If
Yeah,
they couldn't perform, they couldn't do nothing. They were like gone.
exactly. On vacation somewhere. COVID free.
They came back 3 years later, and you're like, you didn't like disband? Where have you been?
I think I saw one or two Western musicians doing some lives. That was about it. So I think it was like U2. No, was it Coldplay? Chris Martin actually did like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did like he just played his guitar and stuff, which was really cool.
Do you know what thing I like about BTS? They could be any group of friends. Like when you see them hanging out together and doing their thing and their personalities coming through, they're just like the group of friends I had. They just could be anybody. They're just normal.
They're so humble and just, they don't care even if there's cameras there or not. They'll just be themselves.
They just behave exactly like me and my friends used to behave. The same banter, the same stupid things. That's what's so funny about them.
And they're natural comedians, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's also developed over the years. They got more and more comfortable.
That happens when you're comfortable with a group of friends, though. You develop your own little language and your own banter, and it definitely comes through in like all their videos that they're that comfortable with each other.
I also think they're lightning in the bottle because I mean they did say they've obviously like had moments where they've fought with each other and they've had like, but in general they like have gotten on really well and they've become like family, you know, and like they have this like sibling relationship, which is amazing. But I think it's very rare. There's not many K-pop groups out there that
There's not many in general. Like that is like, when it comes to bands, how well you gel and for how many years is like a massive, it's of uber importance. The second band I was in, we did not gel at all. And look how quickly that fell apart. As soon as we got our record contract and they wanted to stick us in a house together or record an album for a year, that's where it all fell apart. I did not want to live with these people. Like, I think it is so important when a band is not only friends, but like family, but they know how to resolve their conflicts with each other and they don't let it linger.
Exactly.
Again, I think BTS have that magic like chemistry between them all because of they just all work together. Their personalities gel together. They genuinely love each other. You can tell. And that makes a massive difference. There's been a couple of bands I've watched where you can pick up in performances certain members don't like each other, and it may not be glaring obvious to some people, but it is to some others. I see it in groups. In BTS, you can just tell they all genuinely like each other, so that makes them like nice to watch.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's like, and they've mentioned it before. They've been like, oh, the tea with the other groups. Some of them, not all of the other groups. I can imagine the tea in that industry. It must be amazing. See, this is why I think, like, I know you've just only really listened to a lot of Sugar's older stuff and some of BTS's stuff, but this is why I think there'll be some BTS songs that like will appeal to you and that you can enjoy. So,
I like music anyway, so
yeah.
앞으로도 저희의 단 한마디, 단 가사 한 줄이라도 여러분이 여러분을 사랑하는데 좀 부탁드릴게요.
별은 내게 튀어 나도 모르게 내 눈가 위에 피어 쟤네들지 못할 얘기들을 흐르보면 나 얼굴에 내게 넌 안 되는 아이들 하지만 이제 쓰기 많아 빌 때는 진작에 혐오로 어린 심장을 스치는 저 바람에
Iran Schwender. I love that.
I'm a rap girl at heart.
I know you're gonna. That's why I was like thinking maybe the next, once we get through Augusti's latest album, is we're gonna do RM and J-Hope.
It's impressive that he was doing underground rap at 13, though.
13, isn't that insane? Like
the youngest member of our band was 13, and like I have firsthand experienced how hard it was for her to be under that kind of pressure at 13 years old with a sisterhood surrounding her, and he was a 13-year-old underground rapper, man. Imagine that kind of community at 13.
It's crazy. It just shows his determination and love for poetry.
But the name has to go. Hey, what were you thinking?
Jump from Ron Schwender to Rap Monster. I'm saying this with lots of affection. I think it's adorable.
It reminds me of like a cartoon name. Like you can imagine just a cute little panda type cartoon character called Runchrander.
Runchrander. I like it. I wonder what it means though, Runchrander. Does Army know what Runchrander means? Like why he chose
it? Food.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you know why RM was called, why he called himself Runchrander. I think it's like, it'd be cool to understand that. It's really cool.
예를 들어 밤하늘에 떠있는 별을 보면 난 생각이 들고 내 어디로 흘러가는 건지 의문이 들어 불투명해진 퓨처 모든 판단의 기준이 이미 공부로
안녕하세요, 랩몬스터입니다. 이름처럼 팀에서 랩을 맡고 있습니다.
It's the hair. I love the debut hair, pre-debut hair.
Hey, MC Hammer.
I love it. It's like the coolest era for me is their pre-debut and debut hair. I love it.
When I was going through my like, must have been 20s.
Yeah, exactly. And I do like him as a blonde as well. I think he's like looks really good with all his like his blonde hair. This hairstyle is really good on him.
My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the lead up to group BTS.
He's just the best leader.
Charuso.
He is. I think that like I don't know, like there was this thing from who said it? Was it Nelson Mandela? Said something like, "A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination, but adding a literate tongue makes somebody very special."
Hmm.
And I kind of feel like that applies to RM because he's got like brilliant IQ. He's got the purest heart, but then he's like, you put a pen in his hand and he can spread it around the world so easily, and also he can lead so well because of just the combination of talents that he has.
Yeah, they definitely made a right choice making him the leader, even though he's not the oldest. He's
Yeah.
definitely leader material.
He is.
That's so funny.
남주인데 넌 최고의 리더. 오늘도 뭐 빌보드부터 시작해서 갑자기 이렇게 다 좋은 결과들이 있는데 사실 남주인 없었으면 아무것도 못했어. 상상을 했겠습니다. 진짜 없었어. 이건 진짜 참된 리더예요.
남주형 진짜 말할 것도 없고 너무 멋있는 사람이고 그래서 저희를 이끌어주는 그런 리더 역할, 리더 자격이 있는 사람입니다.
제가 요리하고 있으면은 가끔 남준이가 RM이 와서 도와준다고 하는데 제가 아니, 너무 괜찮다고.
Pause a minute. RM reminds me so much of a guy that was my friend growing up. Like, I think he's even the same star sign as him. He kind of looks a bit like him too. And he has the same chaotic energy and the same, like, it's crazy how similar they are. They're even built the same. It's weird to watch because it's always who it makes me think of when I see RM. It's kind of weird.
It is.
I guess that's how they're so relatable, though. They probably, you know, someone in your life that is similar to one or all of them.
It's true. Totally. I just love his chaotic energy. I think it's amazing.
It seems to be a Virgo thing.
Yeah,
He is a Virgo, isn't he?
He's a Virgo, yeah. He's a
Right,
Virgo.
yeah, that makes sense. My friend was a Virgo and he was very chaotic too. And he was like a big bear in a china shop. He would just crash into everything. He was like one of these people that if he gave you a hug, he would break your bones, but he didn't mean it. I get that vibe from RM. Like he's very heavy-handed.
Totally. Actually, now that you say it, I had a Virgo friend when I was young. He was just as chaotic as this. So
My stepdad's a Virgo, and you've seen him. He's like a 6 foot something, big buff ex-military who cries at girly movies. So
가 빠져있으니까 여기 구했잖아요 아까. 요거 빼고 요거 빼봐요. 그러면 5가 나오죠. 8은 58.
58 정답?
와. 별로
see, his brain intimidates me.
I think I would give him a good go at a maths quiz, though.
Yeah, you're good, but you're. Can I say what you are?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you're on the spectrum, so you
Yeah.
are like she's. Lean's exceptionally brilliant at everything she does. So
I'm
I'm not
autistic and I
exaggerating.
have ADHD, so my brain works really fast. And you once sent me RM doing a maths question video,
Yeah,
and I got it right.
you did. You figured it out. But she's. I mean, as I mentioned before, she just wrote 200,000 words in 4 weeks. She's like not many authors can do that. You know, it usually takes an
Books are
author.
generally this thick.
Yeah, that's how thick her books are. So, yeah, like most authors take 3 months to a year to write a book, and she takes 4 weeks to write. In essence, 200,000 words is 2 books. So she's written 2 books in 4 weeks. That's how brilliant my friend is.
Well, thank you. I told you, I'm
Yeah.
worldwide epic.
상이 있었지만 언어, 수학, 외국어, 사회 과목에서 전국 상위 1.3%.
言ったところで、皆さんももう知ってますよ。ジミーさんが特に大好きなことがありますよ。
最近もうすぐ言いました。
You brought us made us shine. Made what? Made us shine. Made us shine. Made us shine.
예? Appreciate it. 이거 맞나요? 이거 빌보드에서 그냥 형이 막 계속
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
I can't choice. Oh, I can't choice. You know?
No, I can't choose it.
남준이가 I can't choose.
I can't choose it.
Jen speaking English is me speaking Korean.
I'm telling you, you are so much like Jen. Like I can't even. Every time I look at you now, I think,
Eugene Oppa had to correct me with how I was saying goodnight to him. And then he gave me a round for not adding O. So I, oh! Oh, it's funny.
oh, it's funny.
아는데 그렇게 말하는 게 사실은 너도 마음이 아프잖아.
와 시원하진 않은데.
네. 아 깜짝이야. 와 쩔었다 이럴 줄 알았는데.
심장은 꺼면 한여름의 선택 작전을 개시하지 그래 내 이름은 브레 혼자 따먹는 내 이름은 브레 여기 내가 차린 놀이동산보다 레버 우리부터 차이나지 너.
You haven't heard this song.
I've never heard that, and I'm kind of impressed by the speed of his rap there. I was like, oh.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do this one.
원할 레버 본 이름은 브레이디 또 나의 성은 에버 절대 개별 쉽게 안에 나는 레버 아니 나는 내가 두려워.
And you haven't heard his mono album.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, as far as like the solo stuff, there's probably some songs you're gonna recognize in this, not from RM specifically, but other members from K-dramas, because like Lean and I, by the way, we are K-drama edits. So
I used to be a K-drama reviewer for a magazine in Canada
yeah,
for
Yes.
like a whole 3 months or something.
that's amazing. Yeah, no, you and you're right. We we're writing an Asian drama at the moment. We're starting, which is a romantic comedy set in a cafe in Seoul. But Lean, as we mentioned before, she's got a number of her books are being made into Asian series.
I've actually got a Korean book and a Chinese book, as in a book that was based in Korea with Korean characters, and I've also got a Chinese book based in Shanghai with Chinese characters. They're already out,
That's really cool.
but are not the ones being made into Asian dramas.
Weirdly.
I don't know.
이미 알고가 돼버렸거든 사랑과 미움이 같은 말은 너 I love you so 사랑과 미움이 같은 말은 너 I hate you so
Whoa. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
제가 쓴 가사가 문제투성이 럽쓰기잖아요. 근데 이제 이가 아니고 만약에 다른 걸 갖다 붙이면 되게 이상해지는 거. 예를 들면 문제투성이 바보 뭐 이런 거 되게 이상하거든요.
That reminds me of you and I. That's exactly how we are when we write books. We like discuss avidly with each other what we're doing. We've actually done some scripts together, and we like this.
Mhm. For when we go to Korea, which has been made into a short film by that production company that Eugene Oppa owns.
That's
It's going to kill me for calling him Eugene Oppa about 50 times in this video. Eugene Oppa!
Yeah, he hates it when you call him that.
That's why I do it.
Eugene, that's his name. Eugene.
Eugene Oppa! Okay.
By the way, Lean's not calling our producer Oppa in an affectionate way. She's doing
No,
it like
brother.
Jin would. She's doing this is a Jin move of hers where she's trying to torment and traumatize our producer by calling him Oppa and triggering him, because we all know it's kind of cringe to do, especially
Yeah.
for Western people to do it. So she's doing it on purpose so that she can annoy him enough that he's gonna like end up like snapping at her. So
He said I could call him Oppa as long as he got to call me crazy girl, which he does now every single time.
he does. He calls you crazy girl.
Jin got me a bicycle
I buy people bicycles.
진짜 서운하다.
Oh, here's my bag.
When I'm 원하는 건 모두 갖췄지 이제 눈물도 가져야만 만족이 될지 내가 원했던 건 없 담은 돈 담은 걸걸 이 다음은 도대체 뭐지 그 다음은 그래 뭘까 심히 느껴지는 현타 위가 없는 현상 위험보다 난 이젠 강하리만 보다가 이대로 쫓아고
Look how young he looks.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
He's 13.
Oh.
By the way, everyone, we all know that Sugar is Dean's bias. She has a bias already, and it's set in stone. So
Has
she'll
been for a
ride and
while
die
now.
for Sugar.
It's been my bias since first love.
Yeah, and like not just BTS, because you do listen to other K-pop every now and then, and you do listen to.
I'm a multi-stan.
Yeah, so you always go back to Sugar.
I actually dedicated one of my books to Sugar.
Oh, you did?
I'm not going to show you. You just have to find the book and find it. It's in the
I know,
dedication page.
See, and I like you have an excuse because you've been writing, but like the fact that you haven't listened to any of his latest stuff is killing me.
I've been busy.
Okay.
Busy.
Busy. Yeah, like this is the only member you know much about. Really.
I wonder why.
Wonder why.
작업하고 있는 비트이다. 빠르게
이렇게 다네.
그만해.
그렇지.
2013년 2월 17일 슈가의 첫 로그 끝. 하다가요.
연락을 잘 돌려서 내가 밥을 먹으면 이제 버스를 탈 돈이 없었고 하나도 돈을 못 받고 네모 쓰고
Yeah, didn't go. It was
TLC 맞죠?
didn't go.
그 슈가 이제 설탕과 이제 랩핑걸시 이제
방탄소년단이 무대에 올라갔을 때
네.
뭐 이제 분장을 한다든지
맞아요.
어떤 메이크업을 하는 거 이제 어떤 힙합과 충돌되는
아니
있을 것 같은데.
그런 게 아니라 여자.
Since when? Every rap artist in the West gets their face done.
Well, let's
And
have
have done.
even from like the 1980s. I mean, if you look
Yeah,
at-
that's what I'm talking about. Like even when I was like little, I used to be okay, I've had many jobs. I used to be a makeup artist, and film and TV and stuff was one of my jobs. And every single man, be he actor, idol, freaking TV reporter, they all wear makeup. So
They
what is
do.
this pitch?
I know. And then plus on top of it, I mean, like all the bands I've ever stand have worn makeup, like
Exactly.
Nirvana, like Freddie Mercury, my all-time most favorite human on the planet. Like, I mean, they've all like rocked makeup. Jared Leto. I mean, it's just part
As
of
a
it.
makeup artist that actually went to college for like 3 years and did a history of makeup, makeup was invented for men. It was not for women. It started for men.
Yeah.
It was literally men who wore it. It was a sign of like their superiority and their wealth, and only men could wear it. So
Yep.
kiss my butt, you with your creeping it's a girl thing. I'll come over and smack some sense into you right now.
Yeah, you can see the army protectiveness come out in us. Like,
Even sitting there looking at them, right? They're clearly made up for like their role as they're getting interviewed and probably wearing makeup. How can they even say they look girly? They look like dudes to me.
yeah, exactly.
It's not like they've got falsies on and bright red lipstick and some painted like false nails.
Exactly.
And even if they did, they'd still look like dudes. Sorry. It's on a makeup rant now.
You're mad about it now.
I am mad.
How dare they? I'm telling you.
이는 내가 이 자리에 쉽게 앉았다고 해요 난 성공과 거리가 먼 형들 사이 누가 시네요 난 맨날 감당한대요 약지라는 자수 래퍼도 내가 아이돌을 하고 있어요 감사하게 I'm busy 24/7 머신 말이 안 되지 내가 계란이 봄으로 태어났지
So you see where he gets the August D from? Sugar
Oh, the
spelled
what?
backwards with DT.
Oh yeah, I knew that already.
Oh,
Remember. August.
너도 너처럼 약하지 나지 촉박되는 강제로 잔치 속에 존나게 어이없지 싹 다 죽여 난 예의 없이 새끼 그래 너의 왜 없어 가나시고 너대 알바 자네 너도 알아봐라 널 쫓고 가는 나랑 커리어도 하나만 하겠지만 꼭 살아남아 꾸준히 직소가 아마 니도 꼬리 편안함아 추억 같은 인생 너의 이름은 하나보다 기술과 나는 썸
That's insane.
He's a good rapper. The lung power that takes.
I know. I don't think there's many rappers on the planet who can do that at all. I think it's probably like 3, 2, maybe. It's insane the speed that he has.
He's a good rapper.
핫 트렌드상 소란 오늘 취하면의 프로듀서 슈가.
Oh, I don't want to hear about that.
올해 방탄하기 내 인생의 전부 방탄소년단
I didn't know he had OCD too.
I didn't know he had OCD.
I have
Yeah.
OCD. And I have ADHD. Doesn't he
Yeah.
have ADHD as well?
I think he mentioned that. I have ADHD for sure as well. So, like you and I our ADHD together, it's insane.
Yeah.
So-
And I've got OCD, which not many idols actually ever admit to having. I have it. And it's one of those things it's actually weird to see it on screen that he has OCD. I never knew that. I've learned something today.
You have.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit, I don't give a fuck 그딴 말들 전부 다 날간 날 숨기려 하는 말 하루 수백 번이 버릇처럼 말했던 내게서 신경과 실패 난 장점 난 뻔뻔고 계속했는데 우리는 아주 적게 어느 걱정 고스름해 그렇지 않은 너는 넌 배식이니 바른 의미를 남기고 날 각도 없는 실수 떨보다 이겨내고만 쉽진 않지만 가슴에 되게 부딪힐 것 같으면 던지게 벌벌
고맙다. 말을 안 해. 아이 고맙다.
That's going to be us in Korea because I am so like non-affectionate.
I know. I mean, well, I think we'll take turns because I'm also
You're very like that, yeah.
I'm his star sign. I'm Pisces.
When
So-
my family try and hug me, I do the whole stand straight thing and like. I remember when my whatever boyfriend first told me he loved me when we started dating, and I was like, okay, that's nice. And then I was like, okay, just leave the room now. Bye, I'm going home. Yeah.
well, and the thing is, I'm Pisces, so I'm very sugar in lots of ways.
You are like, yeah, you definitely have definite sugar Pisces traits.
Yeah,
That's probably why we get along though, because like you said, I'm very gin.
Yeah.
And you're very
Uh,
sugar. But I do have some sugar traits. That's why you can tolerate my gin side.
I know, and I have some gin traits because I've got a
You do.
Sagittarius rising. So, yeah, I think my moon sign's Sagittarius. Where's my rising? I don't know. Anyway,
I'm
but
part Libra. I'm gin.
yeah, so that's the thing is like I think like we get on because we've kind of like the reverse of we've got that little. I'm definitely very sugar. I'm very introspective as well. So
네, 사랑한다.
외적인 게 아니라 성격적인 부분에서 뭐랄까 오글거리는 거를 잘 못하는데 그런 모습을 볼 때 해주고 싶은데 여기서 끌어나오지 않아서 순대레 약간 순대레 같은
시가 형이 그런 게 있어요. 되게 멤버들 안 챙겨주는 척 하면서 은근히 챙겨주는 그런 게 있어요.
인경 뭐야? 형 도와드릴 일 없나요? 괜찮아. 너네를 위해서라면 뭐 이 정도야.
Sugar's love language is servitude.
yeah,
That's what my love language is too. My love language is servitude. I would rather do something for you than be nice to your face. That's pretty much, I'm not telling you anything nice. I'm not saying like I'll just be like, here, have a sandwich.
Well, it's so true because you'll randomly send me things that are like so sweet. Like you'll take time to make something for me. Like I don't think I have it with me here, but like Lean made me because obviously I'm fighting cancer. She made me a little cancer ribbon with a rose on it, and it's so cute. I wear it a lot, and yeah, she'll make small things and send them to me in the mail.
When I had the August D album cover down there, I was pointing at like, look, it's your bag.
you made me a bag as well, which is cool. So she's always doing small little things for me, which was really sweet. So
그날 유명한 분. 바로 접니다. 오늘 마지막에 사랑하는 거였어요.
네, 그럴 때도 이제 항상 BTS 방탄소년단을 생각을 하시면서 힘내시길 바랍니다.
From Gwangju 한 거시기에 금남 충장 스트리트 거기 내 Harlem Neuron down bounce 맞춤 춤을 뻑까 workaholic 내게 밤새 성장한 case.
Oh, look how young he looks. 10 years old.
Adorable. Like, I know he gets a lot of like bad rap from like people don't like Hobie for some reason. He's one of my favorite members. He is just he's so fun. He's
Well,
like,
and that's the thing is like there was that campaign that they had in the beginning, the Get Rid of Hobie campaign, which was so cruel, that happened on Twitter or on social media. And I mean, you're looking at one of the most talented dancers in the world with the kindest heart, and for me, like the fact that he's joined BTS and didn't know any rap, and he used to follow the rappers around because I think it was the three of them in the beginning, and he used to sit like on the floor while Sugar was doing like his stuff at his desk and watch him for hours and learn that way. And like now he has his most unique rapping style just from like, he was like, I want to be a rapper, and he made himself into a rapper, and it's amazing. Like he's so talented. Like
why did they want rid of him? What was like the reason?
It was just a random antis thing that they started spreading, saying J-Hope needs to leave BTS, needs to go. He's like ugly and untalented. I think it ties into the that K-beauty industry, the aesthetics, the like your face has to look a certain way and all that nonsense. Yeah, and he didn't conform to the K-beauty standards. I think that was it initially, and
He has such a nice face, though. Have you ever seen Hobie's side profile? He has like a side profile to die for. I would have his side profile.
He's the most beautiful man. Like it makes no sense. But yeah, there was that horrible campaign started by antis for him to get kicked out of BTS, which was insane. So, and I think like in the beginning, he never used to get fan mail because
don't tell me that. I'll get a time machine. I'll go back and send him his first fan mail.
Yeah, he never used to get the fan mail. And then I think there's like a scene, I'm not sure if it's in this or another documentary I watched, where Jimin gives him his first fan mail and you can see his face. He's like, oh my gosh. Breaks my heart because like is all undeserved. This man is the most insanely talented person. So drives me mad. And he has worked so hard from like, I think unlike a lot of other idols, he knew from the very beginning what he wanted to do. And he has not deviated, and like he's worked hard from I think the age of 10 years old, so even younger, he's just so insanely like hardworking, perfectionist, beautiful person. So cute.
난 말하지 너무 작으니까 영웅이 된 거라고
빠바 이건데 빠바바바바바바밤.
Look how beautiful he is.
He is a dance master.
He is.
His skills are very impressive. Like I went to dancing a lot younger, and I'm still not the best dancer. Like I love dancing, but it's either in you or it's not, and it's definitely in him. He is like so talented. Sometimes I watch some of his choreo randomly that you send me, and I'm like, he's like amazing.
He is.
He's so like, oh, there's no words.
No, there's none. He's amazing.
You let me know. You let me know. Do you hear me? Yeah. Do you hear me? Yeah. 6, 7, 8, 벌써 좋다. 이렇게 쌈들 여기 계속 있으면 돼요. 마 싸면서 형 가운데.
I know you're wanting V's hair in this.
V? Wait, now I need to find him.
Okay.
Where is he? Oh, there.
Oh wait, no, we have to go back because I have to show you. Because I know that's your favorite hair color. Okay, wait.
Oh, yeah.
You let me know. You let me know. Do you hear me? Yeah. Do you hear me? Yeah. 6, 7.
Whoa. For the first time. I've had hair that color.
It's a cool color. I love it. I want to pull out. I want that hair color now, but if
I had that hair color about 5 years ago.
Yeah. My hair's now blonde, so I could probably go that color, but I don't want to ruin my blonde. I've just
Oh,
gone.
it's really hard to get rid of. Don't do it.
Yeah,
벌써 좋다. 이렇게 쌈들 여기 계속 있으면 돼요. 마 싸면서 형 가운데 있고.
He's got no bones.
I was just thinking he is so fluid in his movements. It's so good, but he can also do popping really well. He's just like he was made to dance.
He is totally.
He also has that ability that when he's dancing, he makes you want to dance.
Yeah.
He gives you that, oh, I just want to get up and dance with him now.
Dance with him. That kills me. He can rap, he can dance, he can sing amazingly.
He looks so good right there. Yeah, I was just thinking, Hobie, in fact, the entire rap line, RM, Suga, and Hobie, they all have such good voices. They all sound very different to one another, and they're all equally nice. Like, I've heard some rappers that are good at rapping but don't have nice voices. These dudes have both. And Hobie's a good singer too. I've heard him sing, and he's like, he could be the rap line or singing line.
너의 사진을 보고 있어도 보고 싶다.
고맙다. 다 같이 건 무시해줘 고맙다. 덕분에 스타디움 럼밀보다 많은 것을 덕분에 많이
If I was something now, daydream.
이제 내게 기대도 돼 언제나 옆에 우리 아낌없이 쉬기에 버티고 So I wonder I really wonder I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J-Hope.
뭔가 멤버들이 부탁이나 아니면 좀 뭔가 고민하는 것 같으면은 진지하게 들어주고 자기 것을 조금 더 주는 사람.
너무 이쁘고 착하고 다정한 것 같아서 석이 형은 정말 이 팀이 없었으면 안 될 사람이라고 생각할 정도로 고마운 사람인 것 같아요.
Did you want to pause?
No, I was pushing my glasses
You're
up.
pushing. That's gonna be you in Korea. I know.
I was just thinking, sometimes I'm so J-Hope. That is me. In Korea, I ran away from a butterfly yesterday.
So Lean's terrified of butterflies.
Oh my god, yes. Oh.
And there's a lot of moths in Korea, especially in the summer, I think. So
I don't like bugs in general. Weirdly, I'm okay with spiders as long as they're like up on a roof, but if they come near me, I freak out. I don't like flies or anything.
I'll be the one rescuing all the insects around you. So
I'll be running away screaming like a little bitch.
학교를 등교하고 있었는데 그 제가 버스를 타고 이제 내리는 딱 그 타이밍이었는데 제가 이 멀리서 봐도 잘생겼잖아요.
사실 그건 맞아요.
맞아. 버스 내리는데 그분이 이렇게 내리는 쪽으로 오셔가지고 저를 붙잡고 와, 전 태어나서 당신 같은 얼굴 처음 봤다고. 아 진짜? 아 제발 저희 회사에.
언제부턴가 점점.
So he was spotted and recruited just for his face.
Do you know what's funny? See, when I was in that girl band, they didn't make me sing for my audition. I was recruited without singing. Not one singing audition. They just met with me, talked to me, and then was like, "You're the first member of the band." And I didn't even do the audition when the others did the audition. I was a judge. Yeah, I'm not even joking.
It's insane.
Jen, you and I both, bro. It's the Sagittarius in us.
I'm telling you. But he learned to sing there, and like he's now like got the most incredible voice. Like I can't even wrap my head around that.
I had to take singing lessons too.
연락하게 된 내가 먼저 저라고의 너 저라고의 나 우리 모두 다 눈물을 흘리잖아. 왜 네가 먹냐 이 순간 우리 남겨놓은 너 이제 내 방이니까. 그대 기억이 지난 사랑이 내 안을 파고드는 가시가 되어.
I can't get over his voice.
He's very theatrical. I love it.
And I mean, like the range that he has, like my gosh,
He has a good range. You can tell he's a natural singer as well.
such a powerful voice. Like just it blows my mind.
이런 멜로디는 어떨까 뭐 이렇게 해서 막 다 써봤던 거예요. 아마 여기 있는 것들도 한 10번에서 20번 정도는 다 멜로디들이 바뀌지 않았나.
간절한 너를 원해 목숨 건 전부야 흩어져버린 빗속으로
의상 뭘 입어요? 파란 의상이에요?
저 꽃잎들처럼 날개 단 것처럼 흔하게
That's insane. That voice. It's insane.
He's a good singer.
지금 보고 있을까 내 아픈 상처까지 내게 다 들키지 않을까 Every day you seem too far away Every time I do I tell myself 이곳에서 기다리고 있어
when I go tour, my fans, oh, worldwide handsome. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy it, enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying. Yeah, I'm worldwide handsome. Yeah, hello.
생일 축하. 오늘 이런 사람.
이거지 정확하게 이거지. 진영 같은 맏형이 좋냐? 맏형 같은 맏형이 좋냐? 그래서 나는 그거 같지. 야 나는 그래도 진영 같은 맏형이 좋다. 그래. 그러니까 그러니까 숨겨진 뜻은 진영은 맏형 같이.
형이 맏형이잖아요.
Such a good older brother. I love it so much.
It's funny. I wonder if that's his, like, the Sagittarius in him. Even though he's the oldest, he seems like the youngest. That's very much me.
Yeah.
Even when I'm the oldest in our group, I'm still the youngest.
Totally. I love that about him. I love that, like, I love his view on life, his attitude on life. He's so cute.
되게 위기의 질서를 딱딱 지켜야 되고 되게 이런 사람일 줄 알았는데 사실 전혀 그런 형이 아니죠. 팀의 분위기를 전반적으로 이끌어가는 사람이 바로 진영이에요. 네. 잘됐죠. 때리지 마, 때리지 마. 형이 할게. 면 끓여. 나 동발 네가 나보다 맛있게 먹어라. 내가 항상 까불거리고 항상 막 와 이러고 웃는 이유가 내가 까불거려서 행복할 때도 있지만 상대방이 웃어서 게 중요한 거죠. 웃어서 저 행복한 그러니까 날 행복하게 하려고 솔직히 말하면 상대방을 이용하는 거야. 상대방을 웃게 해가지고 나를 웃게 하는 거야. 저리 가라고. 저리 가라고. 자, 저희가 지금 이제 서비스 저희가 지금 잊어버려.
진영한테 뭔가 행복 뭐 이런 거라든지 인생을 재밌게 살아야겠구나 이런 거를 되게 많이 느꼈던 것 같아요. 배우고.
Okay, pause. I was going to suppose you. I now get why you keep saying I'm your Jen.
Yeah, you've definitely told me that. You've made me smile every day throughout my cancer. I'm not going to get emotional.
Don't you dare cry. I'm over here, bitch slap.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I'm being serious.
I'm very much Jen. I've just realised this. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, friend, for making me smile and laugh every day. Okay. Let's carry on. I'm not gonna you're gonna kill me for crying.
Yeah, Kleenex. Do you need me to throw you one? You want me to walk over
Yeah,
there?
throw me a Kleenex.
Maybe I'll be there the night.
이등 1등을 바로 앞에 두고 있는 가운데 1등.
See, this is what I love about him. Just the simple things make him happy.
It was funny. I was playing my game while waiting on you earlier on my phone, and the twat walked past me, and I was like, "We haven't been fishing in ages. Where's the fishing rod?
Where's the fishing rod?"
정체. 정체. 슈퍼차.
pick him up and put him in my pocket.
I know, he's so cute and small. I can't believe how cute.
네, 뭔가 이 행복은 랩몬 형부터 시작이었던 것 같아요. 꿈의 시작.
남편 형을 보고 그 모습에 반해서 많은 회사들이 있었지만 형이 리더로 있는 곳에 항상 자리매김하고 싶은 그런 생각이 있습니다.
저기 있어요. 빨간 거.
뭐 그때까지 저 이제 15살 올라와가지고 옆에서 되게 이제 뭐 어떻게 보면 저를 키운 거죠. 네. 그래서 옆에서 이렇게 잘 해줘서 고맙고.
형들이 있어 걱정이 생겼어 내가 됐었었네
감독님도
You make me begin 같아 형이 슬프면 형이 아프면 내가 아픈 것보다
Oh, isn't that adorable? I love him so much.
He's such a cute kid.
He
He
is.
reminds me so much of our baby girl. She was only 13, and so I became her Jen.
Oh.
And
How funny.
watching that, it was just like, oh, I remember that. I remember that feeling of having the baby of the band was only 13, and we had to help raise her.
Oh,
And we stayed so close. You know, I still speak to her even now. She's still on my Facebook.
oh, that's so cute. Well, and this is the thing is I think he was actually international age 14 when he joined. So he was just a little baby. But BTS is aside from his wonderful parents, have helped raise him into such a wonderful person. So good on them. And on him, because he's he's a golden matinee. He's super talented in everything he does.
근데 이제 정국이가 빠지면 되게 데미지가 세요. 물론 7명 누가 또 그렇지만 정국이는 어쨌든 메인 보컬을 담당하고 있고 퍼포먼스적으로도 본인이 센터에서 굉장히 중요한 축을 담당하는 파트가 굉장히 많은 친구거든요. 정국이가 빠지면 대체가 안 된단 말이에요.
언제쯤일까 다시 그때 마주한다면 눈을 보고 말할래요. 보고 싶었어요. 황홀했던 기억 속에 나 홀로 춤을 춰 또 비가 내리잖아.
One time for the present, two time for the past. Happy that we met each other. Now to the very end. And yes you know, yes you know. 이따위 말로 설명할 순 없어. Please you stay alone. Please you stay alone.
아니 박자
방탄소년단입니다. 방탄소년단. 방탄소년단이에요? 방탄소년단 정국 선수. 우와!
나도 놀랐어. 정국이 밤로스야, 밤로스.
뭐냐?
Like an arrow in the blue sky, 또 하루쯤 나가겠지.
우리 정국이 어떡해. 우리 정국이 안 하자니까 너무 잘 썼다.
That's what it's like hanging out with you. Oh, she's crying again. I relate so hard to him sometimes, though.
See, for me, like, so guys, I live in Utah. I don't have any family around me. I have no one. They're all back in South Africa and Italy. And so I end up like the time difference and everything else. Like I end up like mostly talking to Lean about like my anxiety and stress, and my sister. But yeah, Lean gets most of it. And then I'll like end up like, she'll get like a sobbing message from me 1 second, and then the next second I'll spot something that I like that makes me happy, and then she'll like 5 seconds later get a happier voice note, and she's like, "You're crazy! Like it's so ADHD." I'm like,
It's your
"Ooh."
cycle. It's like cry for 15 seconds, laugh for 15 seconds, cry again, and then you're fine. I'm so used to it now that if I see 2 voice notes in a row, I know the first one will be you crying, the second will be you laughing at something. I find JK so relatable. There are times that even though I'm your Jin, there are times I'm so JK.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm a half and half. I relate to him so hard.
Yeah.
우리 JK 그래 아까 너무 열심히 쓰더라 편지를. 우리 JK 진짜. 아유 우리 정국이 귀여운 거 이쁜 거 마음 열이고. 그래 열이지. 몸만.
Can I just say one thing about this is like I love that BTS doesn't have that toxic masculinity that's seeped into their group, that they allow for emotions and crying, and you know, all the members at some point have cried on camera about certain things, and they are so open and so vulnerable, you know, and it's such a refreshing change from Western artists. It really is.
It's how they've raised such a sensitive boy.
They have, exactly. So
He's not afraid to just burst into tears.
yeah, exactly. They've allowed for that expression.
몸만 안 열이지.
청구에 넣어야지. 청구에 넣어야지. 아니 하지마. 아야 미안해. 내 잘못했어. 진짜 안 할게.
Is JK a Virgo?
Sorry?
Is JK a Virgo?
Yes, like
Right.
RM.
He's like my dad then. He's like physically strong, like a big buff dude who does like loads of physical but cries all the time. Dad.
다리 없이 공허한 건지 그저 몇 시간처럼 기다리는 게 I'll be there whenever you want.
V, is it true that you never actually intended on auditioning for BTS? You just went to the audition to support your friend.
True. Yes.
2011년 여름쯤에 빅히트 오디션을 한번 본 적이 있었는데 그때 야 너도 볼래? 구경꾼이던 제가 네 좀 볼래요? 해가지고 춤추고 또 없어? 노래도 하고 또 없어? 비트박스하고 또 없어? 랩하고 또 없어? 색소폰 가져와서 색소폰 들고 또 없어? 네 이제 없어요. 그래서 이제 없었는데 그래서 게임을 하던 저한테 연락이 와서 여보세요? 대구에서 나 한 명만 뽑혔대요.
2013년 7월 10일 그의 첫 단독 모드.
So they hit him right until they debut. So for like, I don't know how long that was, but like, I don't know, it was about a year or what. They hit him because I think because he's so talented, they didn't want another agency to steal him. So,
Maybe.
So he was hidden right up until, so everyone thought BTS was a 6-member band right up until their debut. Isn't that crazy?
I do remember reading something about that, and that he was really unhappy about having to hide right up until
the point of that must be so hard.
Yeah.
나는 일단 오래전부터 멤버들이랑 같이 생활했다. 6명 그룹일 줄 알았던 방탄이 7명이
기다립니다. 잘난 것 하나 없는데 단 하나란 골라서 내가 꼭 갖고 싶지만 숨겨도 감춰도 지워지지 않아. So cry, please try my eyes.
That range is insane.
That was an impressive note.
It was. I can't watch this drama.
I was about to say that is one drama I've blacklisted.
Yeah.
Because I read
He
that
dies in it. I can't
and I
watch
was
him
like,
die.
no, I'll go watch it.
I
Even
can't
though
watch
it's got Park Seo-joon in it and who's one of my favorite actors, I refuse to watch it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've watched a clip of him dying and it was scarring.
I won't even watch that. I'm such a wuss.
This was
I had already reached the shore. 혹시야 너에겐 나만 아는 모습이 있어. 목이 자꾸 아파와. 감싸보려 하지 마.
that tattoo looks really good.
He's a very good looking dude.
He is.
He's very striking. Like, you can't deny V is like hot.
He is. And he knows how
knows how to use his face, Lou.
I was looking at the last video. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, he's got good expressions.
보라 색깔의 뜻이 뭔지 아세요?
보라색이요.
빨주노초 파란보의 보라색이 마지막 색깔이잖아요. 제 보라색은 상대방을 믿고 서로 오랫동안 사랑하자라는 의미인데요.
보라해.
근데 저는 그 뜻처럼 영원히 오랫동안 함께 이렇게 볼 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다.
그리고 처음 봤을 때는 굉장히 독특하고 장난기가 많고 어디로 튈지 모르는 어떻게 보면은 우리 중에 가장 사람다운 애가 아니었나.
이거는 자 가자. 설마? 왜?
야, 얘는 딴데요.
누가 딴데?
아까는 결혼하잖아. 아까.
포차했다. 혹시 손 들어보실래요? 오늘 수학 어워드. 무슨 어워드?
자, 시작하겠습니다.
그래미.
너지와 달라 그냥 얼기으로 네가 날 불러지.
This is the member that pulls in more fans than dogs, cats, humans.
Remember, I had a very short stint of Jimin appreciation.
When you first,
whenever I started watching the clips you were sending me, it lasted like half a day. And then I was like, actually, I still like Suga.
I have to say, like, I just love the Jimin's heart and his kindness and generosity and thoughtfulness. He reminds me of my dad, who's also
He's very adorable. I think that's Jimin's pool is not only is he like aesthetically beautiful, he's like very like his personality shines through that he's a very kind, people loving person.
Exactly.
난 나의 꽃으로 기다렸던 것처럼 확실히 더
Tell them Bangtan is dancing on the floor.
I think when he debuted, before debut, like he was had the shortest period of training, but like during that period, he was like kicked out and brought back like 6 times.
Oh yeah, I think you've told me that before, that they made him feel insecure because he kept kicking him out, bringing him back, kicking out, bringing him back.
Yeah, I might be wrong. Army, correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
but
I'm sure I've seen something you sent that said that he was like yo-yoed a bit in the beginning.
Yeah, that must be so stressful. Considering how talented he is as a dancer, and he's been dancing throughout school and from a young age, I mean, like, it's insane that they would even consider shifting him out. That's crazy.
정말 천성이 너무 이타적인 친구고 자신보다 굉장히 남이나 혹은 이 팀을 더 배려하는 뭐 무대나 이런 그런 부분에 있어서도 굉장히 사람을 이제 홀리게 하는 되게 재능이 있고 굉장히 무대에서 큰 축을 담당하는 굉장히 멋진 전방위 아이돌이 아닌가.
Should I be your night, baby? Yeah, could be your night. 이 밤이 너에게 솔직할 수 있게 이제 내게 약속해요. 하루에 몇 번씩. 너와 정말 싸우지 않기로 언젠가는 항상 멋질 거야. I'm nothing without your love. I promise I'll never leave.
I still have to watch this drama. I don't know if you've watched Liberation Notes.
No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen the dramas earlier on when they were talking about V's songs. I'd seen all of them.
Yeah, I want to see this one. It looks good. I've seen clips of it and it looks good.
Love, my heart is beating because of you. You always come away 또다시 반복되는 내게서 떠나줘
I'm sick, guys.
Oh, there, bro. Pretty sexy, lovely. Yeah. Pretty sexy, lovely, sweet guy. Yeah.
아마인보 넘버원가?
내가 어리광을 필지 아니야 지민이 잘못했지 잘못했지
His athleticism is insane.
I was just thinking, how can something that cute be so lethal? Wrong side.
No.
Call you on the phone, need you on the other side. So when your tears roll down your pillow like a river, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you.
You can see why RM says he's the cutest thing ever. He's so cute. Man, like he's just like, I don't know, he's just really sweet.
He
cute
is cute. He's very cute. He's like,
우리 오셨어? 아니에요. 여기 아니에요? 몰라요, 여러분. 모른 척 해주세요. 실수. 진짜 실수다, 이거는.
시작할 때부터 부족한 거 많고 되게 보잘것없고 되게 아무것도 없는 저였는데 우리 멤버들이 저 도와주고 이끌어주고 해서 되게 여기까지 올 수 있었고 되게 멤버들이랑 함께하면서 되게 행복하다고 느꼈고 우리 멤버들 진짜 멋있어요, 진짜. 여러분 방탄 멋있죠?
Actually, a lot of people are very curious about this, but it's very simple. There's 100% of success, and I'll give 50, I'll give half to the armies. We put like 5% each, like 5% value, so that's 35. And I give 15% to the Highland Wicket. If it's a trophy, my percent is like 5. I always try to realize that for myself, and it really helps me keep myself down to earth. And I think it's really important to survive in this crazy industry.
Like, I hate that they like face xenophobia. I think it's like the most enraging thing for me when I've been looking at BTS content and stuff, is that there's constantly, like, they're attacked so often with hate. And it's the failure to understand another culture that leads to that insecurity and division. And like, it disappoints me that it comes so often from journalists as well. And I think the reason why BTS is attacked so hard is because music spreads truth, and that's what racists and xenophobics fear, is like the message that BTS sends a lot of the time, you know, because it is a threat to the Western media in a lot of ways, you know.
Growing up in the West, I know that there is a lot of Asian hate. I don't know why, more than I'd say, especially in the UK, Asian hate is worse than black hate. Like, I think in the UK, growing up in the UK, I've seen more racism directed towards not just like East Asians, but Asians in general. I mean, I experienced it myself, even though I look white enough. The Asian hate seems to be well worse. I went to school with Indian Asians, Chinese people, Koreans, and also black people, and I always seen the hate directed, it's more specifically at the East Asians than anyone. I don't know why that is, but it's how I've experienced growing up.
It's so sad. It really is, you know, and it, like, for me, it's just unnecessary. And the fact that they still face it now, and they still have that hatred that gets directed towards them, you would think after like a decade things would get easier, but it doesn't.
The thing I always found strange about the kind of like Asian hate is where it comes from. It's never the people you expect it to come from. Like, growing up, it came from teachers. It came from people in positions that really shouldn't be encouraging that kind of behavior. Those are the places I used to see it coming from. I mean, I was best friends with 2 Chinese girls and a girl from Pakistani and a family from another part of India. And I used to see it not so much amongst the other kids, but it was definitely from the people in school that should be watching your back, like the teachers, the support teachers, the dining staff, the janitors. Like, those were the people that kept it breeding in this hatred towards them.
It's crazy. It's just ignorance, you know. It just makes me sad. I see a lot of Asian hate now in the US, and I mean, I live in Utah. It's like the land of the blonde. So I would like to see more diversity here, but like, it just really frustrates me. You know?
I live in a really diverse country. Scotland is very diverse. There is no actual genetic race of Scottish people because we're all mixed breeds. And even me, somebody that is what was passing white, I experienced Asian hate growing up. I experienced bullying about being Asian in a country that is diverse. So there's clearly an issue in society when it comes to Asians that I just don't understand why.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I'm so proud of BTS for, you know, going to the White House and helping to stand for it, because I hope at one point it gets stamped out on this planet, because it's really, really toxic and, you know, damaging. You recognize that whale, right?
Yeah.
Loneliest
Playing my phone away. I do not play BT Island in all my moments of not doing nothing. I am not on level 1,400 right now.
But also, I think you mentioned that song.
Also Alice, yeah, is it Alice the Whale?
Alice the Loneliest Whale.
Mm-hmm. But it's the little cartoon character on BTS Island too.
It is.
만약에 이거 인정 안 하시면 이제 아미들 다 이제 채널 찾아가.
자, 깔끔하게 정답 맞췄고요. 다음 이야기.
The Korean band BTS donated $1 million to Black Lives Matter. Well, on seeing this news, BTS fans, known as the BTS Army, pledged to match their donation, raising another $1 million in less than 24 hours.
It starts off thinking, what do the boys love? And what are the things we can do in their name?
I think like the Army is such a unique fandom. Because
When you first started sending me stuff about BTS so many years ago. Wait, was that only like a couple of years ago? It
Like a
seems
couple of years ago.
longer. One of the things that did actually draw me in was when you used to send me like things about Army. It wasn't BTS themselves. I think I even said to you before, it's Army. Army are not only hilarious, but they're like a proper community that is band together.
Yeah.
That's the fandom that you want to be in. And not only that, they're funny, they're hilarious. I've seen some of the edits. They're
Army is so funny.
welcoming.
They are. And you know,
Army
our
is
only experience.
fan BTS is just to be part of Army community.
Yeah.
Some
And
are-
and I've experienced love from Army. Like Army has just been so like in everything that I've seen. I mean, obviously there is like that tiny small percentage of toxic fans,
Oh,
like
yeah.
fans and stuff, but generally Army is just so supportive and kind. You know, they're just a lovely fandom.
That's what I've seen anyway. And I've seen some toxic fandoms. I mean, we as authors have fans ourselves. We know how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
If I ever had a fandom, I would like it to be like Army. What am I doing? I do have a fandom. I just hope they're like Army. Weirdly though, I have a fan group and I have discovered a good portion of my fan group are BTS Army.
That's
After I posted something that you had sent me that was like BTS related, many of them came forward. I'm like, oh my god, I'm Army. And I was like, oh, you're half my fan group.
That is so cool. I love that.
The armies, I know, and the BTS, you all know, we're all strong. We'll find a way. We always have. If there's no way, let's draw the map, the whole map again.
와.
아 이건 박식인데.
Thank Thank you, Taylor.
That was a good documentary. Like, I doubted that I would be able to sit through that entire thing, but that was actually easy.
It was, because your attention span is of a flea. So.
There was a few times I was restless, but then something would like grab my interest again.
Yeah, I love Taylor's documentaries. They're so amazing. We must do more of them. But yeah, I'm glad that we did that, just because like I wanted to make sure that I know you know bits and pieces here and there, but now you've got like a good base for our reactions going forward. So and
what I like about BTS is their message that they put out very much aligns with my own personal mottos in life. Like the message that I tend to put out to my fans and my books and my readers, we align. We have the same message.
Exactly, and what I find is BTS always makes people want to be better people, humans, put it that way. Like you always want to like be the best version of yourself. You know, they motivate you to work hard, to confront your mental health, to look around at your society and see where there is issues. I just love that they are making an impact and a difference on this planet, you know, and I think that's one of the reasons why I follow them, you know, and why they have a fandom with so many people of different ages. I mean, you and I, we're in our 40s, so it's not like we're young army. Not that anyone would be fooled that we were young army, but yeah, it's just nice that there are army in the 80s and 60s and 40s and 20s, and you know, and that BTS impacts people of all ages. So
definitely, I think that the older you get as well, the message that they put out there means more to you. Like the whole self-love, accepting yourself, the not letting things drag you down, just generally being kinder human beings. I think as you get older, the more that resonates with you, the more important that becomes to you as a person. Not so much when you're a teenager, when you're selfish and hormonal, and like it's a good message to start early, but I think the older you get, it is like something that becomes a value that you like really hold dear. And I think that's probably BTS appeals to older women because of that. Also the toxic masculinity thing, BTS does not have a single toxic masculinity trait among them from what I've just seen in that video. They are a very healthy presentation of how men should be.
Exactly.
And it doesn't hurt that they're all extremely handsome.
Exactly. They're good humans.
Yeah. And I think it speaks very loudly to what women actually want.
Yeah.
And men, if instead of being threatened and having like their egos bruised and getting all anti-BTS, they should pay attention to why BTS is so coveted by women all over the world, not just like Korean or East Asian, but like Western women. It's more than just how they look, it's more than how they sound. It's like the whole package. These are guys who they're not afraid to cry, they're not afraid to talk about their feelings, they're not afraid to praise one another and compliment them on things that guys just wouldn't usually compliment one another on, like oh, he's so kind-hearted, he's so like caring. Like these are things guys should be saying to one another.
Exactly.
They should be evaluating each other on those personality traits, not that oh, he's really tough, he's really good at Xbox, he drinks like 10 beers and doesn't like you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've noticed that a lot of times when men fall into the BTS rabbit hole, it makes them more aware of that toxic masculinity, you know. And we're not saying that there's not toxic masculinity in Korea itself, because there's there's a lot of abuse that happens. But I think we're talking specifically BTS as a group, how they've bettered each other and made themselves into better humans, you know. And for me, the rule for me now is to stand good humans. Like there are some groups that I've dropped, like especially Western groups, because of their conduct and behavior off stage. And I do not want to like support somebody who has any bigotry, you know. I just feel like I don't have time for that as I'm older. I don't. I want people that love more, hate less, and people that conduct their lives in a decent, humane way, you know. So
they raised the bar.
They have, definitely. Well, thanks, Army. Thanks. If you have any comments, just drop them below. Just for you guys to know, we've created this channel just because it's a good way for Lena and I to catch up with each other. None of this is monetized. We're just enjoying it. So if you want to subscribe, great. If you don't, that's cool too. We're just going to hang here and enjoy ourselves, regardless of how many views and likes we get. We're just here I'm here to pull Lena into the rabbit hole of BTS more. But yeah, we're just here to just have fun and enjoy, and we hope that you do the same. So.
This is your hobby, forcing me to watch BTS content.
Yeah. 'Cause we have so much else going on in our lives as far as our books and art and passive income businesses.
Yeah.
We actually business.
This kind of forces us to sit down and take a break and do something enjoyable rather than something work related together.
Exactly.
Which we so often fall into the trap of doing whenever we talk. We end up doing work related stuff.
Exactly. So this is a fun diversion for us.
It is.
Thanks, guys, and have a wonderful rest of your days. Bye.
See ya.